Oh dear God, Texas Motor Speedway. Not gonna be too disappointed because you saw it coming. I mean, second half of the season has been pretty good. It's just the mile and a half tracks, and especially this one. Not gonna try to be too negative about it. Obviously, you guys know over the last few months I've been trying to stay away from the negativity. I would just love to have a personal conversation with Eddie Gossage. Anyone can get me in contact with him, please. Not any hate or anything. I just want to have a conversation with him so he can help me understand, because I need some understanding when it comes to Texas Motor Speedway and their decisions and just everything that they've done over the last few years. I need help. During my Texas race preview, I said I didn't like turns 1 and 2. I didn't really understand the repave either. I didn't understand anything about it, but I really hated turns 1 and 2. And after the race day, Chase Elliott said, this is from Jeff Gluck's tweet on how hard it was to pass. I don't know what genius decided to pave this place or take the banking out of 1 and 2, but it is not a good move for the entertainment factor, in my opinion. It's not even just about the entertainment factor, it's just about solid racing. I mean, it is really bad. So yeah, the race wasn't that great at all. And we have to think about how to make Texas, because it's not going to come off the schedule. We kind of know that. We have to make Texas a better racetrack, because that was abysmal. The race was abysmal. It's one of the worst races I think I've seen in a very long time. And that's saying something, because there have been bad races, very bad races, where I say the same thing. I say it's one of the worst races I've seen in a very long time. And this one, where it is in the schedule, only 3 races left in the season, that was just atrocious. So in terms of race review, there's not much to talk about. I mean, if you made it through all 334 laps and you were paying attention every single lap, like, bravo to you. Because me personally, it was really, really difficult to be able just to watch. I mean, I couldn't do it. It was so hard just to pay attention to everything going on. And that's weird to say, because the playoffs are going on, and you have to think like, oh, what if one of the bottom 4 win? But right off the bat, first lap, Clint Bowyer gets loose in turns 1 and 2, expecting it. It's been happened in the Xfinity race, happened in the truck race. You expected, turns 1 and 2 is just, I don't get it. And drivers get loose. Boyer's race is pretty much done from that point on because of flat tires and not being able to get back towards the front. So that's one of the guys who needed a win, already out. And then Elliott, Almirola, and Kurt Busch just never had the car to really compete for a chance for the win. So it's just like, if you're looking for entertainment factor in terms of drivers or points implications, not much is going to happen, because as I expected, Kevin Harvick, Kyle Busch, Truex, that's going to be what I'm pretty sure is going to round out the top 4 heading into Homestead. So now we're just kind of all waiting on Homestead. The biggest thing that was happening in terms of the race of entertainment or surprises, I guess, would be loose wheels. Martin Truex Jr., Kevin Harvick complaining about loose wheels. Truex had a loose wheel. Kyle Busch, all part of the big 3, had loose wheels. Busch ended up finishing a lap down because of it, but because of his playoff points, he's still pretty much good. Truex was able to fight back and finish in the top 10, and he basically has maintained his gap to the cutoff line, and Kevin Harvick won the race. So, I mean, it is very much shaping up to be what Homestead's gonna, it's gonna be Logano and Harvick and Busch and Truex. And what we got today was just a incredibly forgettable race. I'm pretty worried for the TV ratings. We're going to have to talk about this. I know we talk about ratings, and I don't talk about it really anymore at all, but we have to talk about this, because NASCAR has been creeping towards the 1.0 TV rating, and I wouldn't be surprised if this race gets close to that rating, because the way a TV rating works is it depends on how tuned in you are for the entire race, and I could just feel that race. I felt a lot of people turning the channel. That's what the race felt like, especially in the middle of the race. There was just not much going on. The stagers were not offering anything. It was the attendance at Texas Motor Speedway. My goodness. I mean, wow. I mean, there were sections, like an entire section that was empty. And I think it was like the first kick of that tri-oval. It was like the bottom section on the tri-oval. It was, I think there was maybe one person in it, or it was empty. That was one of the craziest things I've seen in terms of attendance. So basically, this race review just consists of, there's a lot of work to do. Now, there were good points, of the race, not really on track, but there were good good points. The finish and Kevin Harvick getting out of his car, taking the selfie with the fan, interacting with fans. It's incredibly important because the people at the racetrack, they probably could have seen the race in a different light, or maybe the race wasn't that great, but now that kid's day is made, and that kid probably had one of the best days of his life. So that's very important. And then other kids see that on TV, and you generate the interest through that, and that's what drivers can do. They can generate that interest, and they can use the power that they're in to help grow the sport. Now that was a huge positive, and that's one of the only positives I can think of in this race. The rest was just like I've been saying, very poor. The quality of racing, if you didn't see the race, the quality of racing was very simple. You get behind another car, you can run up to them. You get behind them, you stall. Lap traffic, everyone just filed in a single lane. And you might be wondering to yourself, well, doesn't that make the old Bristol really great, or Martinsville really great? Well, the thing is, those are short tracks going much slower speed, contact, beating and banging, no aero involved. You can't have that style of racing at 190 plus miles per hour, 170 plus in the corners, because the aero just doesn't compute. Well, not in today's age. Back with the Gen 4 car, yes, you can be in a single file. I mean, there was more places to go, though, because of coil binding and all that. There's a lot. The cars have come a long way in terms of technology, but now the cars are sealed down to the track. The bottom lane's the fastest around Texas because of the repave, and also because of the banking issue and everything going on there. And so it just became a single file train, and when you're going that fast, those speeds, there is nothing that will provide entertaining racing. And the Gen 6 car, of course, I have beaten this horse to death with the Gen 6 car, so I don't want to do it anymore, but you guys know how I feel about it. I'm just waiting for Gen 7. Gen 6 showed its true ugly colors again today. When you take that car to a high-speed racetrack, or when you take that car to anything above, when you get going, the teams have figured it out. These cars are planted, sealed shut to the track. And it has a lot of side force built into it, which is why you saw a lot of the turns 1 and 2, especially that now 1 and 2 has less banking. Drivers have less to lean on with the cars. The cars already are completely built on side force, and that's what caused many of the loose issues. And that's what also caused the end of the race. There was a few cautions, and Kevin Harvick and Ryan Blaney were going side by side entering turn 1, but it was like watching turn 1 enter in the first lap of a Formula 1 race. Whoever gets out of there first will probably lead the rest of that segment, unless they're at a really great track. And it's just simply because once you get clear, you're set to go. It is the complete opposite of what NASCAR racing should be. Brad Keselowski, I don't know if it was a Texas race where Brad Keselowski said these cars are not meant to run side by side. Was it the Texas race earlier this spring? I think it was, when he crashed out with Jimmy and Denny. I think it was, but it's true. These cars, like, you could just watch the end of that race. They are literally not made to run side by side. They're not meant to. It doesn't work, and that is a shame. When you take it out to the short track, doesn't matter what car you have, you can run side by side because the aero is not involved. But at the high-speed racetracks, this was atrocious. And no, a 2019 package with a hell of a lot more downforce and a hell of a lot lower horsepower will not fix that. So don't bring that up, please. I seriously don't want to hear about that. Oh, the package will make everything, but no, it's not going to, because the car is not changing. So the next year, they're just going to be going 170, 180, and the teams will figure it out. So they'll be going a little bit faster, and the side force, all that will still be the same. Cars will still be very dirty around each other. It's how it's going to be. It's not good. It's not good at all. So to cap off a sad race review, the race results. Let's look at them. Kevin Harvick wins the race. He's locked into Homestead. Kind of anticlimactic, but good for him. We kind of knew he was going to be in Homestead, but he is in a Homestead. Confirmed now. Ryan Blaney with a good run. Expect him to be pretty good here at Texas. And you'll see a lot of Fords, and the Chevys creeped in there because of the restarts, but at one point late in the race, like, Ford was running 1 through 6. So the Fords were definitely very strong, but you see Joey Logano finishes in 3rd, Eric Jones finishes in 4th as the highest Toyota, Kyle Larson, Chase Elliott finished 5th and 6th, and the Chevys they benefited from the cautions. Kyle Larson had fresher tires, and Elliott was able to fight his way up there, but the Chevys were awful all race. They were very, very poor. Kurt Busch, Eric Almirola, Martin Truex Jr., Austin Dillon round out your top 10. Austin Dillon with the 10th place finish. I actually just saw that. It's a good finish for him. Truex fights his way all the way back to 9th place. One interesting note between Eric Almirola and Joey Logano, there was a incident between them. It was in 3 and 4 on a restart. Logano was apparently pinching down Almirola He was just running in the second lane. You know, he was on Almirola's door pretty tight, and that got Almirola loose, and Almirola was not pleased about that. A lot of race fans are not pleased with Almirola for being mad about that, but again, the drivers have an understanding of what they can do with the cars, and they know that they can't run side by side at this track. So when Almirola got pinched by Logano, he thought that was a little bit too aggressive on Logano's part. And for his reasoning was that Logano was already locked in to Homestead, and just let the guys who are fighting out for their lives, let them fight it out. You can go on both ways of that. Joey Logano's obvious argument is, dude, I'm racing. I want to win this race too. So that's just miscommunication there. And Almirola said that he would race him hard at Homestead. So Logano is really not helping himself. I mean, Logano did nothing wrong. They'll probably talk about it. I don't think there's gonna be too much to worry about there. I don't think Almirola is gonna race him too hard at Homestead. Ricky Stenhouse in 11th, Keselowski, Menard, Bowman, Jimmy Johnson round out your top 15, and then the rest of the results can go through and you guys can look at them. Again, not anything down here is not really that meaningful. Boyer obviously had a tough ride, and so did Denny Hamlin early in the race because of that incident with Boyer, but not much to talk about. It is just not a good race. It's one of those races NASCAR has to look at, and they have to look at themselves. And they have to, I'm talking to the executives, the racetracks. You have to look at yourselves and understand races like that will not do any it will not have any positive impact on the sport. And you have to look in the mirror and understand you are losing a lot of fans. And yes, Martinsville was a great race, but you have to build a string of even a season or 2 seasons worth of great races and show that you are making positive changes. Races like today are not that. And unfortunately, those short tracks I was talking about, there's only 6 races out of the 36 that are legitimate short tracks. A mile or below, Richmond, Martinsville, and Bristol. NASCAR had an issue with officiating as well today, which really shed a bad light on them. Officiating in a way, I guess. It was before the race even started. Jimmy Johnson started at the back of the race, or back of the pack. And Jimmy was starting 23rd initially, but started at the back for apparently failing inspection twice. Now that is incorrect. If you fail inspection twice, you should not have to start at the back, per se to their rules. NASCAR says there was a miscommunication between the garage officials and the tower, and that he never should have started at the back. But Jimmy then starts at the back, and there's no way to make it up to Jimmy. He loses those spots and gets him put in a bad position, and it was just a really, really bad day. It was a really, really bad day. So comment down below what you think of the Texas race if you did watch it. If you turned it off, I don't blame you. There's no way I can stay positive in this video. I'm sorry, guys. There's no way. Luckily, Phoenix is up next, and I should have a better race there. And then Homestead is the finale. Homestead's a great track. It'll be the last time we see Homestead with the current package, a little bit more horsepower. Next year it's going to be a little bit different. So, and that'll be the championship race, obviously. And I'm just annoyed with today's race. So comment down below what you think of the race, and hit the like button if you like the video. Dislike it if you hate my attitude. I'm sorry, I can't be positive with this. I think I've done a good job over the last few months, being positive. I can't be positive with this one. So if you didn't like me being positive, you can dislike it. I won't have my feelings hurt. Don't worry. It's not going to bother me. Again, comment down below about any of the issues or situations or what you think about all that. And again, if anyone can get me in contact with Eddie Gossage, please, I will forever love you. I just want to have a conversation. I'm not going to be like, I hate you, man. You're so what you doing? I just want to have a civilized conversation, just so I can understand what's going on or what the reasoning was to things and decisions. So if anyone can get me in contact with him, you're the best. You lit. I'll see you guys later. Hope you're having a fantastic night. It's really dark already, and it's only it's early. Who cares? I'll see you guys later. Peace out.